Hello there. This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Reasoning is a primary tool for men. Reasoning is a primary tool for men. And what do I mean when I said that? Men have to throw all the emotion out and really think about solving any problem. They got to reason their way through it. You got to think about the step by step. You can't, when something happens, I don't care what's said. Well, I mean, women talk about how independent they are or what's going on. You have to think your way out of it. That's our main contribution. Now, of course, you get some people say, oh, show more emotion and all of that. But look, when you got to solve problems, you got to solve the problem. Yeah, it could be tough. Yeah, there could be some emotional aspects to it, but you know what? It might be something you might even shed a tear. Seriously, it could be that deep. But you still got to solve that problem. And the best way is to think about it. It's like, okay, solutions. Not just talk about something, solutions. Okay, we got this issue right here. Let's reason our way to solving the issue. And you know what? That's how men build stuff. That's how men build systems. That's how men are able to take care of issues big and small. But see, one of the problems I'm seeing is, especially nowadays, is many men are getting too emotional. They're getting too caught up. Their reactions are too emotional to what's happening. Then, like I say, you know what? We're not total robots. As men, we're not total robots. But when emotion overcomes reasoning in a man, that's a real problem. That is a real problem. Just the nature of masculine energy, just the nature of who we are means that we're warriors, we're hunters, we're visionaries, we're leaders, we're healers. All of these require activity, but it can't just be willy-nilly. We can't be swinging wild. We got to think, okay, we got this problem here. Now, here's how we do it. Step A, step B, step C. It was like if you having trouble with your health or something, okay, what do? Okay, you got to say, okay, I'm having some problems here. What can I do to solve it? Okay, I might have to exercise more. Might have to change my diet. You can't worry about that you got there to begin with, except you don't want to repeat how you got into that position, be it health, be it your financial position. You got to think about it. Let me talk about that financial thing because, men don't hunt for animals for sustenance in the world anymore. As a whole, there's still some holdouts, more power to them. Most guys got to work for that money. Most men have to work in order to afford that place to live. Men have to work for money in order to have sovereignty in this world. And that's cool. Okay, how you going to get that money? Are you just going to sit there and say, oh, I need money and stuff. I need all this money. Or are you going to sit there and say, oh, I don't have money for this. I don't have money for that. No, you have a problem. You need more money. Okay, how do you solve it? Now, common sense would say get some type of job. Okay, how do you get that? Okay, you need to get a job. What's your plan? What's your plan? Like if a man wants to do something, he needs a plan. You need a job. What's your plan? What is your job strategy to get a job? All right. And it could be going out just looking. It could be getting the skills to work. Okay, how you going to pay for that? How you going to accomplish that? Reasoning. There's no magic thing. As men, the very nature of masculine energy is to go out and do something. It's not just to sit around and just like, oh, we're not going to do anything. It's like, okay, I don't care what it is. You got to think about it. You got to think about it. Even to some extent dealing with women. Now, on Saturdays, I don't usually talk about the women part, but you had to ask yourself, if you having problems meeting a woman in a certain environment, think about it. What can you do? Oh, change environments. Change some stuff. Change some stuff about yourself. Because when you're reasoning and you take the emotion out of it, you look directly at the problem. You don't have that emotional response to the problem, the issue. I don't care what it is, getting women, making money, figuring out how to put your children through school, figuring out how to get a business started. You think about it. You think, all right, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to look up information on this. I need to gain knowledge on this. You're doing it from a reasoning perspective. Now, let me be clear about the emotion part. We're all human. We're going to have some emotion, but it can't overwhelm your reasoning as a man. That's just we built that way. This is how the world was built. We had to solve problems. We're expected to solve problems. If you're a man and you take on a family, you're expected to protect a family. Okay, how you going to do that? What's your reasoning tell you on how to protect your family? And I don't mean just in a physical way. You know, you might have to sit there and go through the programs that your children might watch on television. You know, you might have to think about the environment you're in. All right, you're in a bad environment. How do you get out of it? Okay, you got to have a plan. You got to have a concrete plan. You got to use that reasoning to come up with the plan. See, think about it. No matter what I'm saying, when you talk about solving a problem, you know, you can't go in with emotion or complaining about it. And see, I'm seeing too many men do that. Nah. You thinking about, okay, you got to pay off your bills. Okay, what's your plan? What do you see ahead? What's your long-term plan? And then, you know what, you got to think about, okay, what are the problems with this? And you know what, with that reasoning, sometimes you might have to leave behind something that you might have gotten pleasure from. You may have to get off those cigarettes and, legal or illegal drugs. You know, you might have to walk away from some people who are not really good for you. And it might seem cold-blooded and all of that, but you know what your reasoning is saying. Look, I got to think long-term. I got to think about the greater needs here. And that's a tool. And see, that's the nature of man. Okay, how you going to solve that problem? See what I'm saying? You don't get mad or emotional. Just said, oh, you know what? I'm going to cut it off. Don't take it personal. It's just business. You had to think about it. There's nothing wrong with thinking. You know, one of the crying shames in this general culture, we don't praise it enough, especially in men. And that's because there are many forces. And, you know, we'd always say women don't really want men to think, because if we really thought about a lot of stuff, let's just say a lot of things would be different if collectively we were thinking. And indeed, there's some forces out there who don't want you to think. They don't want you to think. They want you to lean on them. But that's a control thing. All right. Use your reasoning to get out of that situation. But whatever the case, I don't care what it is, every man needs to develop his way of thinking. He needs to develop his reasoning. He needs to be able to look at a problem and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do to solve it. All right? I want y'all to remember that. So anyway, that's all I have for now. I want y'all to keep rising and transforming. I want y'all to really think about what I'm talking about. Talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.